Not the kind that comes with laughter and sunscreen. No, this one is sharp, unexpected, and rude. I'm inside my house, grinding fresh ginger for tea, when the ping from my security app jolts me. Motion detected, backyard. I set the grater down, wipe my hands, and tap the screen. And there she is, Karen, our HOA president, self-proclaimed curator of community standards, sprawled across my lounge chair in my backyard. Her big sun hat droops over oversized sunglasses, and she's sipping something out of stemless wine glass. Not alone either. Two other women I've only seen at HOA meetings, equally smug, equally uninvited, dip their feet into the crystal blue water of my private pool like they're a resort they paid for. I blink. I rewind the footage. Nope, not a mirage. The fence is still intact. The gate's supposed to be locked. I feel heat crawl up my neck, but I don't storm out. Not yet. Because this isn't the first time Karen's blurred the line between HOA authority and personal delusion. That I moved to Ridge Pine Estates 2 years ago. It's a place that sells peace but rents entitlement. Lush lawns, gated driveways, and that illusion of unity that doesn't extend far beyond porch lights and next-door threads. I'm one of 5 black homeowners on a block of 72. At the first HOA meeting I ever attended, Karen smiled with a tightness that didn't quite reach her eyes and said, "It's so refreshing to have more diversity on the block." She drew out the word like she was describing exotic fruit. Since then, it's been subtle. Passive-aggressive notes about keeping my landscaping consistent with community norms. When I planted lemongrass and okra instead of begonias. An anonymous complaint about unusual smoke smells when I smoked ribs on Juneteenth. I've let a lot slide. Pick your battles, my dad always said. But this is different. It's not about a note or a look or some code Karen made up to pretend she owns everyone's choices. This is her in my backyard, in my space, with her pale feet dipped in the water I maintain every week. She looks comfortable that I walk to the window and peer through the blinds. Laughter rings out. One of the women snaps a selfie. Guess whose backyard isn't on the HOA tour this month? One of them jokes, and they all burst into that high-pitched wine mom cackle. Karen lifts her glass like a toast. Private or not, the neighborhood benefits from shared aesthetics. It's part of what makes Ridge Pine desirable. I clench my jaw. It's just a pool, I tell myself. But I know better. This is the opening act of something bigger. She's not just trespassing. She's testing how far she can go. And I plan to show her exactly how far I can take it. The next morning, the pool smells faintly like sunscreen and rose. There's a towel crumpled near the deep end, floral, not mine, and a broken stem from one of my aloe plants. On the concrete, faint wet footprints trail toward the side gate. It's locked, but something's off. I crouch down and run my fingers along the latch. There's a faint scratch along the edge, like someone wedged it with a flathead screwdriver. I scan the yard again. A floaty I haven't used in months bobs in the water, half deflated. My speakers, Bluetooth, waterproof, and very much mine, are moved from under the pergola. Someone hooked them up and played music. There's no note, no apology, just silence and proof that lines are being crossed. I check the security footage again. It only caught Karen and her friends leaving. No footage of them entering. Which means one thing. This was an impulsive act. They knew how to get in. They knew where my cameras were. This wasn't a mistake. It was entitlement, dressed up in Lily Pulitzer and HOA jargon. Later that week, I walked past Karen at the mailbox cluster. She's wearing tennis whites with pristine sneakers. She doesn't say hello, just offers a brittle smile and tilts her chin upward. I pause. "Did you enjoy my pool?" She doesn't even blink. "Oh, was that your property?" She laughs, like it's all a misunderstanding. "We assumed you were out of town." And the backyard looked welcoming. She drags out the last word, and I can't tell if it's sarcasm or shade. "It's locked for a reason." I reply even. Karen shrugs. The HOA has been discussing ways to encourage community bonding. Maybe you'd know that if you came to more meetings. There it is, the veiled accusation. The assumption that my absence from her little suburban gatherings is a sign of noncompliance, or worse, disrespect. She continues, "You know, Mr. Harmon, Your backyard could really benefit from blending in more with Ridge Pine's overall aesthetic. It's a bit private. I stare at her. That's kind of the point. She smiles, all teeth now, just trying to keep things harmonious. After all, some of us work to make this neighborhood what it is. Her words land like ice water down my back. She says it with that same tone she used when talking about diversity at that first meeting, like I'm a guest at a country club she built. I clench my mailbox key until it presses a crescent into my palm. She turns to walk away, humming something upbeat. That night, I install a second camera, lower, hidden in the garden beds. I don't sleep well, because it's not just a pool anymore. It's the feeling that I'm being watched, judged, and pushed. That someone's playing a long game, and I'm not the only one they've done this to. Something is happening in Ridge Pine, and I'm about to shine a floodlight on. 3 days later, I catch them red-handed. It's noon on a Wednesday, quiet, sun high, kids still in school. I work remotely, so I'm in my home office when the ding comes through, motion detected. I tap my screen. There they are, again, Karen in a two-piece with a sarong, one hand on her hip, barking directions like she owns a place. 2 new faces with her this time. Middle-aged, both white, both dragging a cooler and speaker like they're prepping for Coachella. I throw on sandals and head straight out the back door. Get out. Karen turns, unfazed. Oh, didn't realize you were home. I don't smile. That's the point. You're trespassing. She laughs, looking to her friends for support. Oh, come on. It's not that serious, Mr. Harmon. We've always shared community spaces here. I blink. This is private property. She tilts her head. Is it? Because per HOA Covenant 14b, any structure visible from the street can be subject to community use. And your pool, she gestures behind her, is partially visible from the side fence. So, technically, that's not how anything works. She's bluffing, I know it. I built that fence 8 feet tall. I checked the code when I moved in. But she's saying it with that Karen confidence, weaponized certainty. One of her friends chimes in. Honestly, if you didn't want neighbors enjoying it, maybe don't show off. Show off. That's the trigger. They think because I'm black, because my home is nice, because my pool's cleaner than the community 1-2 blocks over, I must be flaunting. I don't argue. I record. I lift my phone and hit the button. Karen notices. Excuse me, are you filming? Sure am. On my property. Just like you. Her smile falters for the first time. You know, she says voice tight, if you just attended the last HOA planning committee, you know we're discussing pool accessibility as part of our neighborhood wellness initiative. I frown. That's not a real thing. It will be. She straightens. The board has discretion. There it is. She's laying the groundwork to rewrite the rules, to fabricate authority and make it sound legitimate. I kick them out. They stall, smirk, eventually slink off. Karen mutters something about attitude as she leaves. That night, I do what I should have done weeks ago. I dig. I read every HOA bylaw, highlight contradictions, look into property law. I email a lawyer friend who specializes in residential cases. I pull the security footage from the past month. Every angle, every visit. I post anonymously in the Ridge Pine WhatsApp group, asking if anyone else has experienced unsanctioned access to their property. 3 replies come in that night. 2 black families. 1 interracial couple. Same story. Pool chairs moved. Backyard decorations missing. Guests overheard talking about using the good spaces. Karen's campaign wasn't a one-time offense. It was a pattern. A quiet annexation of space she didn't own, but felt entitled to, because in her mind, people like me don't really own space. We're allowed to live here. Maybe, but not led, not shine, not be unbothered. By the end of the week, I built a folder. Photos, video clips, witness messages, my lawyer's annotated notes. The next HOA meeting is in 3 days, and I'm about to break her hold in front of the entire community. The Ridge Pine HOA meeting is held in the community clubhouse, a sterile beige room with folding chairs, fluorescent lights, and a faint smell of old coffee. I arrive early, sit front row, USB in my pocket, folder in my hand. Karen walks in 15 minutes late, wearing a navy blue pantsuit like she's chairing a Fortune 500 board. Her posse flanks her, same tight-lipped women who nod too hard and laugh too loud at nothing. She spots me, doesn't flinch, just smiles like she already won. "Mr. Harmon," she says, voice carrying. "So glad you could join us this time." The room chuckles politely. I nod. Wouldn't miss it. The meeting opens with pleasantries, updates about landscaping budgets and community potlucks. I wait as they inch toward the final item on the agenda, community shared space use. Karen stands, clears her throat. "We had such incredible engagement from residents recently," she begins, "which is why I'd like to propose a temporary resolution to allow shared recreational access to certain private amenities that align with Ridge Pine's community visibility clause, like front-facing pools and entertainment areas." Murmurs ripple through the room. She glances at me. This would, of course, be optional, but participation shows a real spirit of neighborliness. Wouldn't you agree, Mr. Harmon? I stand slowly. I don't agree, because what you're describing isn't neighborliness. It's trespassing. Karen tilts her head. I think you're confused. No, I'm prepared. I hold up my folder. This is a compiled timeline of multiple unauthorized entries onto my private property, complete with dates, footage, and witness statements. What I also have is a legal opinion from a real estate attorney confirming that your visibility clause is a non-binding suggestion with no enforcement authority. The room goes still. I walk to the projector, plug in my USB. The screen flickers to life. First, a clip of Karen and her friends entering through the side gate, laughing, dragging coolers. Her face in full view. Time-stamped. Next, text messages from other residents. Our patio furniture was moved too. Thought I was being paranoid. Thank you for saying something. Finally, a side-by-side shot Karen's own backyard, which, ironically, is also partially visible from the road. So, I say, turning to her, should we expect the neighborhood to host barbecues at your house next weekend? Karen's smile cracks. She steps forward. You're twisting this. I was trying to foster unity. And frankly, if you can't handle a little shared use, maybe you're not right for this neighborhood. There it is. The unspoken truth said aloud. Maybe I don't belong. I stare at her. I didn't ask for permission to belong. I bought my house. I paid for my pool. You're not protecting unity. You're protecting control. The silence thickens. One of the board members clears his throat. Karen, you didn't disclose any of this. Did you really enter his property? Karen scoffs. It wasn't just me. Plenty of people. But you led them. She opens her mouth, closes it. I press play on one final clip. Karen, caught on camera, sipping wine by my pool and saying to her friend, honestly, if he's not going to be social, someone should be using this space. Her voice, her words, a collective inhale fills the room. I let the silence hang. Let her arrogance unravel her, because the more she talks, the deeper she dies. Karen freezes. The wine clip loops on the projector behind me, her voice echoing like confession on surround sound. She spins toward the board. That footage was taken without my consent. It's a violation of my privacy. The room erupts with murmurs, but I stay calm. It was taken on my property, where your presence was unauthorized, and in a state where single-party consent laws apply. I say, handing a copy of the statute to the HOA chair, Mr. Dellinger. He squints at the paper. It checks out. Karen's jaw tightens. This is ridiculous. This is a witch hunt. I smile, slow and measured. You trespassed, lied, tried to weaponize policy to justify theft of private space. And worse, you've been targeting the only homeowners of color in this neighborhood. Karen shakes her head like she's shaking the truth out of her ears. Don't you dare pull the race card. That's not what this is about. But someone stands in the back. It's Mrs. Hill Black, mid-50s, retired school counselor, lives 3 doors down. It's exactly what it's about, she says firmly. Because when my nephew visited and parked in front of your house for 15 minutes, you called security. But when your friends swim in this man's pool and leave their trash behind, you say it's community spirit? Another neighbor stands. We never voted on any of this. Karen's been using the HOA as her personal tool for years. A third, then a fourth. Voices rise. Karen whirls to Mr. Dellinger. You're just going to let them slander me? He sighs heavy. Karen, we're suspending any further HOA proposals until this is investigated. We'll be reviewing your conduct and your position. She blinks. You mean I'm off the board? Effective immediately. Her face flushes red. She clutches her tote bag like it's a life raft. You can't do this. You don't know who I am. I've lived here for 12 years. I built this community. No, I say, stepping forward, you policed it. You decided who was welcome and who wasn't based on whether they fit your idea of belonging. She opens her mouth, but before she can speak, the clubhouse door swings open. Officer Bledsoe steps in, local police liaison for community affairs. He holds up a clipboard. Got a call about trespassing and property damage. Mr. Harmon, you filed? I did. He turns to Karen. Ma'am, I'll need you to come with me for a statement. We've reviewed footage and multiple complaints. You're not under arrest yet, but we do have questions. Karen gasps like the word statement is a slap. This is outrageous. I'm calling my husband. He's on the city council. But no one's listening. Phones are out. Cameras rolling. Karen, the self-declared queen of Ridgepine, is being escorted out, red-faced, shrieking, stumbling over her designer heels. I watch her go, and I don't feel smug. I feel clean, like truth just chlorinated the pool of this whole damn community. Karen's house goes dark the next day. The porch lights, always blazing like floodlights, stay off. Her American flag is gone. So is a lawn flamingo that said, HOA President back off, in rhinestones. Rumor spreads fast. She stepped down from the City Council Auxiliary Board. Her husband filed for separation. But what cements it? The mailman. He tells Mrs. Hill, who tells me, that Karen's home is under investigation for HOA misappropriation of funds. Apparently, she skimmed money from Ridgepine's landscaping budget to cover event expenses. Like, say, the wine and foam machine left in my yard. And just like that, Karen goes from ruling the Ridgepine HOA to being Ridgepine's cautionary tale. That Saturday, the sun blazes high and merciless, the kind of heat that begs for cold drinks and cannonballs. So I throw a party, a real one. This time, everyone's invited. Music booms low. Sizzling from the grill perfumes the air. I rented a new foam machine, bigger, badder, louder. Kids scream and disappear in clouds of white bubbles. Mr. Dellinger shows up with his wife and a bag of ribs. Mrs. Hill brings homemade banana pudding that disappears in minutes. Even the neighbors who used to only wave from behind their hedges come out, sheepish but present. One by one, people apologize, not always in words, but in gestures. They bring food, offer lawn chairs, help set up umbrellas. Later, I catch one of them, Rebecca, from 2 streets over, watching the foam dance in the air. I didn't know, she says. I mean, I knew she was strict, but I didn't realize how deep it went. I nod, not bitter. Most people don't, until it's pointed out. Then you can't unsee it. She frowns. She made us think you were difficult, like you were the problem. I know. Silence settles. Then she hands me a slice of pie. Thank you for standing up and for this. As the sun sinks low, golden light spills across the yard. Laughter echoes off fences. For once, it doesn't feel borrowed. It feels real. I lean back, drink in hand, and watch the foam rise into the sky like it's washing the whole street clean. And I remember the first time I swam in this pool, back when I moved in. How I wondered if Ridgepine would ever really accept me. Turns out, I didn't need their acceptance. What I needed was to own my space, loudly, proudly, and without apology. Karen tried to drown that out with rules, gossip, and gatekeeping. But in the end, she couldn't swim in her own lies. And now this pool is mine again. But more than that, so is my peace. and it's deeper than any HOA clause could ever reach.